everyone, and welcome to Off the Wall. My name is Sol, and I got Cheryl with me, or Bees, and
Hi,
we're gonna be doing the review for the Beekeeper today. But Cheryl, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. We did not plan this at all that we are
No,
wearing
you
the
did
same
not.
color, but
It is snowing. I needed something warm and fuzzy and glorious, so this is what I got.
it is snowing for you. Let's see what the temperature is for me. 77 degrees.
I hate you. I hate you right now. That's okay. I partially made you go see this movie, so I guess this is your revenge.
Yes. We were not going to be reviewing this movie until she saw it. And just tell the audience why you wanted me to see this hot garbage of a film.
Shared pain, shared laughter. Both are equal, I guess, for this film.
So before we go into spoilers, which honestly, if you haven't seen the movie, don't just listen to the spoiler section anyways. But what's your non-spoiler review of this movie?
Um, it's an action film. It's not the best action film. It's really not the best action film. I would say if you like the typical Jason Statham movies, though, he has about as much emotional depth as he usually does, which is about a teaspoon. So that's I'll give him that, I guess. Um, but yeah, there were some fun action scenes. The writing was terrible. Like so bad you have to laugh at it because it's like I kind of want to see it again so I can take a tally of how many times they try to run the title into the ground of Beekeeper and Beekeeper
Take a
references.
shot.
Yeah, you would be very out of your mind very quickly because it happens a lot.
It sure does. My non-spoiler thoughts is this movie is bad. If you can't tell, script is awful. The action is good because I mean it's Jason Statham. He's going to deliver when it comes to the action. Um, Jeremy Irons is Jeremy Irons, and therefore he's going to put in a good performance, even if it's a bad
Yes.
movie. And also, Minnie Driver puts in a very good performance for the like little tiny bit of the movie that she is in. But other than that, it's not good.
I mean, I had some fun with the two agents and their back and forth. Like they just
Yeah.
seemed to have a little bit of chemistry and a little bit of fun knowing what movie they were in. They're like, this is ridiculous. So let's
Yeah.
just have fun. Um,
And another non-spoiler like thought that I had, and it's mostly came from the daughter slash FBI agent, was I have a potty mouth. But the amount of cursing that she does, and it was just like, oh, you're not even putting emphasis on your words. You're just like cursing to curse. Kind of. And like if I'm noticing someone who like fucking curses all the fucking time, like I'm like, damn, this is a lot. What was
I
the
didn't
script?
realize that did not click
Oh
for me
my
at all
god.
just because I curse all the time. I just did not
No,
pay
I,
attention.
for me, because like you know me, I curse a lot, but I was just like, damn, like she is outdoing me, outdoing Cheryl.
I don't know about that, but
But let's go into spoilers. Um, I'm gonna go with kind of like something that gets revealed a little later in the film. How do you feel about Josh Hutcherson's mom being the president of the United States?
I mean, I could see it coming, I think. So to me, it wasn't necessarily surprising,
Hmm.
but because like if not the president, then like I don't know, Secretary of State or somebody like very
Yeah,
well connected up there.
I was thinking a
Um,
cabinet member at
yeah,
first.
exactly. Um, but I think she played it. I mean, I guess the way she needed to play it, but it also
Hmm.
kind of speaks to this day and age where it's like, hey, you can get elected or be in power and have terrible people surrounding you doing terrible things. And you just put on the facade of, oh, we're a big happy family. Everything's fine.
Oh, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those like, oh, we're gonna go into like a little bit of political talk there, which it was like a swerve.
Yeah.
That just like you were losing in 15 counties. And then I was just like, oh, we're literally going. I felt like I was listening to Steve Kornacki.
Yeah.
But that aside, what are some of your spoiler thoughts getting into just the nitty gritty of this movie?
So I guess there's two, I guess I could say positive takeaways or things that I'm like, this is kind of interesting to see on screen. Of we were talking a little bit about how she was behind in the election and it all came from dark money to support, and the way Josh Hutcherson was able to pull the wool over her eyes, let's say, if you really
Right.
wanted to put that much depth into the film, was to be like saying crypto buzzwords and like, oh, that's what it is. And there's a lot of scamming related to cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. And so it does show where if you just use the current buzzword and don't give any depth to it, you could get away with some things that you really shouldn't. And so that's one takeaway. If people say, "Oh, it's fine, it's crypto," do your research. Like, it's sketchy.
I mean, people don't know the definitions of words anymore, so
Yeah. Yeah. And then to that same effect is at the beginning, which is like the first 5 minutes or whatever, when it kind of walks through how the elderly woman is getting scammed out of all of her money. It's like, I'm kind of at the age where I have older relatives and I can't keep up with technology. I don't know. I don't want to know what it's going to be like in 30 years from now because I'll be
right.
so far behind. But like, you always think, oh, my family, friends, everyone's smart. That's not going to happen to them. But you can kind of see how an
Mhm.
ordinary person who's just living their ordinary life can get put into a situation that's really terrible. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good way for people to realize that this stuff can happen.
Yeah. I think that like 5 minutes of the movie, if you just clip that and show that to like every elderly person or just every person, like here's some like literacy when it comes to how to be on the computer and how to talk to people
Don't
when
give
it comes to your
people
bank accounts.
control of your computer. If anyone says,
Exactly.
"Oh, just go to this and download it," don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Oh, you'll lose all your data. Don't trust them.
Nope.
But going into one thing that bothered me a lot
Just the
in
one.
this,
Just one.
yeah, just one, but it was one where I was like, literally, like, out of all the things that don't make sense that you can kind of just take out, suspend your disbelief, it's so the Beekeepers, they're a secret organization that even Jeremy Irons, who is the former head of the CIA, didn't even know about. And they are always protecting the hive. And Jason Statham used to be a part of this organization. And the elderly lady, when she gets scammed and takes her life, and then he's wanting to get revenge for that, they help him in finding the people who did it. And then, just a little bit later, just talking to Minnie Driver's character, they then now decide that they're going to kill him. And then later, they decide after that they're going to be neutral. And it's literally like a 20-minute span of like, oh, we're gonna help you. You're an old buddy, you're an old
Yeah.
friend, let's help. Oh, now we're gonna kill you. Oh, now we're gonna do nothing. And I'm like, what the hell? I think I literally in the theater, because there was only like 5 other people there, I went, the fuck?
I mean, I can see it a little bit where it's like, oh, an old friend calls you up and is like, "Hey, can you look into something for me?" And you're like, "Oh, this is a shit show, but here's your info." And then all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden your boss person comes in and is like, yeah, this is a problem. We need to take care of it." And then it blows up in their face and they're like, not worth the effort anymore. We're just gonna wash our hands and walk away. And however the leaves fall, that's how it's gonna be. So I could see where that's going, but I also harken back a little bit to the Bourne movies, which I guess this movie inspired me to go back and watch the Bourne movie, and also that one episode of White Collar where he is like running a scamming phone thing similar to this one. I'm like, I need to go watch that episode again. It was a good episode, but um, yeah, the Bourne movies, you have people on the inside helping you. You've got people who are backstabbing you. I mean, I could see how that could happen, but it was ridiculous. Everything was ridiculous
Yeah.
in this movie.
Was there anything that really like grinded your gears, or was it more of a just like, yeah, everything going on screen is ridiculous?
I mean, I think I had a few more people in the theater. It wasn't a full house
Mm-hmm.
at all whatsoever, but a few of us were laughing throughout the movie just again because we were
So
grounding
bad.
in the Beekeeper references and the hive references and how
Mm-hmm.
many and even the agents got into it because she finds like
Yeah.
a beekeeping guide and she's like doing the interesting facts to her partner who's
And her
just like
partner didn't give
stop.
a shit.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, this is so bad. You can't help but laugh.
Yeah. There was definitely moments of sorry. There's definitely moments of laughter that happened, and it was just like, I'm not laughing because this is good or this is funny. I am laughing because what I am seeing on screen is ridiculous. Another thing that at the end I was like, okay, that's the end that made me laugh a lot is he I'm sorry, I'll stop that for a second. Don Toretto.
It's
Is
an
that
action movie. I've got the action blur. You've got the action audio soundtrack behind you. It all fits.
it all fits. But that he kills Josh Hutcherson and then jumps out the window and then goes into the ocean. And then that's
See,
the
but
end.
that right there, that's the exact ending of the second Bourne film, where like
Mm.
he jumps into the Hudson River and he's like falling, and you're like, he's dead. And then it gives a brief dramatic pause, and then he's like moving around. And you're like, he's back. There's another film, probably. Um, so yeah, that again, it inspired me to come back and I want to see the Bourne movies. Okay, the
if there
original.
if there was going to be the Beekeeper 2, where do they go from here?
Um, I mean, it's an action film franchise. You think of how they handle Jack Reacher, the Bourne movies. You
Mm-hmm.
just take the same guy, you plop him in a slightly different chaotic mess, and you just say, "Go kill people," and that's the film because there's not much else to it.
And what would you say got your biggest laugh in the movie?
Uh, I don't know. It really was not that memorable. um,
I think I put in my notes that it was a bad John Wick.
yes,
Because they were with the way they were saying beekeepers, which they said a lot, as Cheryl
mhm.
pointed out, is they were kind of used it in the same vein of Baba Yaga. Like, oh, you don't get disturb a beekeeper. Oh, if a beekeeper sets its eyes on you, you're dead. And I was like, I kind of heard this in John Wick, a way better film
Yeah,
with Baba Yaga. And then I go, well, they didn't steal his cars, but they did like kill his bees at the
yeah.
beginning of the
That
movie.
was
So
sad. There was a lot of
yeah,
honey that just got
I
thrown on the floor,
know.
but, some people pay for it with chopping off their fingers and then getting
Yeah.
thrown tied to a car and then driven into a lake or something. Other people get stabbed with things around the shop. So, I mean, the action scenes were
Yeah.
pretty good. A little bit on the gory side for me,
Yeah.
but, it
There was
works.
a lot of closing eyes that happened. For a second, I was like, "Oh, does he just collect fingers?" Because the other guy like
Oh,
got his
that
fingers
was
chopped off, and then he saves that lady's finger, and I was like, "Oh, he saved it because he needed it to get
Oh,
into."
so that's the thing that grinds my gears. So, like, you're an intelligence agency and your top operative, because your previous one retired. So, you send your current top operative after your retired one, and it's all over the news. She is very clearly dead. You don't revoke her access? Like,
Right.
despite the fact that you had a finger to, like, do the keypad, like, none of that should have gotten through security because she's
Hmm.
very clearly dead.
And
Very
that
clearly.
finger too, there's no heat coming from that finger, so the fingerprints too.
Oh, but no, okay, so this genuine laugh here, the way he just treated it, where he's like, "Oh, I got this chip bag. We're just gonna put the finger in the bag of chip," like, and that's how I'm gonna treat it. It's just like he's carrying around a dead person's finger,
Yeah.
in a bag of chips. I laughed a few times with that.
Because I literally, in that point of the movie, I was like, wait, did he save the finger of that other guy that he chopped his fingers off of? And then I'm like, oh, no, he didn't. That's just, it's for a completely different reason. But for a second, I was like, is he collecting fingers?
Maybe that's the sequel, you know?
Yeah. The finger keeper.
Oh.
Hire me, Hollywood. I'm chock full of ideas.
There we go.
But anyways, Cheryl, is there any final thoughts on this not memorable movie?
I am curious because I was trying to look up some things on IMDb. So I haven't seen a lot of Jason Statham movies in a while because it's just
Mm-hmm.
same old, whatever. And then you see the ratings for some of the action movies that have come up, and I think they're getting higher ratings than this one. And I'm like, so, or is it the opposite? Hold on. I was trying to remember. I was just looking at this before, and I'm like, this was really bad. So are the other ones that I think are as bad or worse, like, but they're higher rated? So I'm like, what? How bad is this film really
Hmm.
versus other ones? And I'm
And
curious
I
about that.
think it depends too on like the times that the movies come out. Like I believe Meg, the original one, came out was a summer release, and so those are going to have more people viewing it, more people putting the scores. Where this is a January release, and we know in the film industry, January is the dump month where you put all the bad movies.
Well, okay, so right now, if I'm looking at IMDb, so I had it opposite. This is right now higher rated. And it could just be fewer people have seen it. So 6.9 thousand reviews, IMDb rating of 6.8 out of 10. You look at, let me go back and let it load.
It literally could be like action was cool. High
Expendables
rating.
4, or with the 4 in the title. What
Yeah.
do you think that is on IMDb?
Well, based on the way that your voice inflection, I'm guessing it's lower. So I'm going to say like 6 point something.
4.8.
Oh, wow. Well,
So
that's Expendables 4.
if
Well,
our
boy.
experience was this and we both agree it's bad and there's
Yeah.
very few redeeming qualities, 4.8, 30,000 people rated it. Then you look at the Fast X, because this is Jason Statham's, just his IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
Meg 2, 5.0. Fast X, 5.8. So I'm like, how bad are these other films? Like, go me for avoiding them, apparently. But F9, the Fast Saga, I used to like that series and I dropped off of it. 5.2.
I would say that all of the Fast and Furious movies are better than this movie.
Yeah, this has a 6.8 rating right now.
Yeah.
More people need to see it, I guess.
I get, literally, it was an IMAX. I paid for IMAX and I went to see it, and it was me and 5 other people in that giant theater. So people are not seeing this here in Miami.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a little bit of research I was doing before we got online, because I was like, what about his other movies? And then David Ayer, and then I guess there's a new one that they're working on together, Levon's Trade or something. Maybe that's a TV show. So I'm like, I don't know, those two together, what are they going to come up with next?
Yeah, it. I would say this is one of those movies that if it comes on a streaming service that you own and you just want to watch some good action,
With
and
a
maybe you're
drinking game.
with a
Drinking game
drinking
required.
game, and maybe you're doing like some chores like laundry or something, have it play in the background. That is the only recommendation for watching this film. Do not pay for it. Uh, don't actively watch it with your full attention. Josh and I watched Lift. Go watch Lift on Netflix. That was fun for what it was as a heist movie. Way better than this movie. But I don't have any other thoughts? I know I already asked final thoughts, but any last words?
Bees?
Bees? Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you thought down in the comments below. Are you going to watch this movie? If you haven't, don't do it. Don't do it. If you did watch this movie, let us know down in the comments below what you thought. If you liked it, let us know why, because we want to know why this has a high score according to Cheryl's research. But we'll see you
How would
next
you
time.
rank it? Would you rank it above the Fast and the Furious or the Meg 2 trench thing? Like I need to understand how these IMDb
Right?
rankings are, because this blows
I
my
don't trust
mind.
it. I don't trust it. But anyways, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.